Hall of Game.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here with us. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Hall of Game panel. If you were at the Sigma Awards yesterday, we had a wonderful celebration of all the pioneers of the industry here in Malta, and I'm very honored to have here on stage with me Mario Galea, and we will also be joined by Filletti later. I'm Shirley Pulis Xerxen, I'm head of news at Sigma World. Thank you, Mario, for being here on the stage with me. Mario Galea needs no introduction, but I'll go ahead anyway. He's the founder of Random Consulting. He was literally there at the very beginning. There when Malta's first online gaming data center was established, and co-authoring no less than the Lotteries and Gaming Act that made Malta, as you've heard today, the first EU country to regulate gaming back in 2004. Thank you for being here to share your insights into Malta's gaming journey.
Thank you.
Mario, take us back to the early 2000s, right? Can you paint a picture of what the situation was like when Malta was considering entering the online gaming space?
Sure. A lot of people talk about the remote gaming regulations of 2004. In reality, Malta started in 2000. And when we started in 2000, the scope was economic benefit. You know, let's get licenses, they come, they pay their license fee, and that was it. But we learned from that was not a sustainable model that we wanted to have. Because, and I always, you know, I used to call this industry, well, the word we use today, digital nomad. I used it in another way.
Yeah. Because
people used to come here, get their license, and then move away to somewhere else. So by 2004, when I became the CEO of the Gaming Authority, the first thing I did is to say, okay, we go away from that type of regulation to one that is sustainable. It was not anymore about the license, it was about getting player protection, responsible gaming, the fact that we introduced in the AML directive of the EU, online gaming. Online gaming was never even mentioned at that time. Now, to be clear, the operators were not happy at first.
Yeah.
They didn't want, you know, to be regulated. There was this feeling, this is an online business. No one regulates online business. What happened is that the very first company ever to go on the stock exchange, that was Party Gaming at that time, in their IPO, somebody wrote, there is a risk that this company is not regulated properly. And I can tell you, from that day, Malta almost had a license almost every day coming in, because there was a realization that if we want this business to be real and to be profitable and get out from the bedrooms where it was originally, in the bedrooms, become corporate and grow, the only way forward was regulation.
Exactly.
So the mood changed after 4 years, and that's what made Malta the biggest jurisdiction. I mean, by 2005, Malta had more licenses than any other jurisdiction, including Nevada, in terms of licenses.
Incredible.
So that's what established us, and the fact that we made a sustainable industry, not just the license. I mean, maybe somebody will call it was a bit of a bait and switch, you know. But that's what we wanted. People to come here, set up here, you know, live here, and grow this industry from here.
Precisely. Ivan, thank you for joining us on stage.
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
It's fine. Ivan, from your current perspective, how crucial were these early foundational decisions that Mario and his team made back then?
Well, they certainly laid out a very solid foundation. They were, I would say, Mario, the pioneers, right? So nearly...
I am not that old, but
nearly sailing in uncharted territory up to a certain extent, but
Exactly.
definitely arriving to the right destination. And which also, catapulted us to where we are today, because they set a very strong foundation. Malta's known for its quality of its regulation, being a quality kite mark in regulation. And today, very much so, more and more so, we speak about responsible gaming. We speak about ESG initiatives. So, it all bore fruit. And that's why, as Gaming Malta, we're advocating a campaign on respect.
Yes.
Respect for the industry. Why? Because we need to debunk a lot of myths about the industry, especially with external stakeholders. And I've been interviewed in panels outside of the industry whereby I'm told, so do we really should hold respect for the iGaming industry, for the gambling industry? And my mission is, or our mission also as a jurisdiction is, to wave the flag for the industry, right? So why respect? Because respect, the industry is about responsible gaming. That's what we do, and there's so many initiatives on that. It's entertainment. We provide entertainment, ultimately.
That's E.
Speed.
S.
Great product.
P.
Enhanced due diligence. Customer-centric. And
T.
the big T, which is talent. And that's what we want to continue advocating as a jurisdiction and as Gaming Malta on respect towards the industry. But it all started from having a very, strong foundation, essentially.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to recognize and honor the pioneers, because in hindsight, perhaps things seem logical, but when you're there at the time, the situation is more complicated than it seems. And this is my question to you, Mario. Pioneering anything comes with its own obstacles. What were the main challenges that you faced back then when establishing the regulatory framework and the infrastructure, basically?
Well, I mentioned yesterday during my speech, the very first obstacle we had in Malta was, in 2000, Malta had only 2 megabits of bandwidth. So, just to give you an idea, if you have 2 megabits of bandwidth on your phone, it would take you about 2.5 seconds to send a selfie to someone else, while the rest of the island is waiting for you to finish. Okay? Each megabit costed 10,000 euros a month. That means that today, if you have a 50 megabit package on your phone, it would cost you €500,000 a month to pay your mobile phone. That's when we started online gaming in Malta. Everybody said, who's coming here to pay this bandwidth? There is no way anybody is going to come here. What happened is, as soon as operators came, the bandwidth increased, the price went down, and we kept delaying like this for about 4 or 5 years, until, today is what we have today. The European Union, you had 26 states, because at the time we were still 27, 26 states against Malta.
Yeah.
Except the European Commission was in our favor. So again, we had to go and talk to each country, especially the French, which threatened us personally. For those who don't know, I had a European arrest warrant issued against me as CEO of the MGA, of the LGA. So that is how much they threatened us at that time. But again, we went there, we explained to them, and it was the French, actually, who at one point said to me, next meeting will be in your office, because now we understand what you want to do, and we want to do the same. And this is the challenges that we came through. And whatever, anybody who opposed, I used to say, the internet is a tsunami. You can't stop it. You can't keep prohibiting this industry. You have to embrace, engage, and regulate. Prohibition creates more problems.
Yes.
And luckily today, we are there. You know, this is what Malta brought to this industry. I only recount one particular incident. In 2013, I had the privilege and the opportunity to start online gaming in the United States. And I still remember sitting in Capitol Hill at the Secretary of State office, and I was asked a direct question. Can you do in the US what you did in Malta?
Yeah.
And I said, of course, sir, you know, this is what I would do. They said, okay, start with New Jersey, and then we go along. And that's what happened. In my head, it was like, wow, these people are looking back at Malta. You know, this is the US. This is not somewhere else.
Yes.
And they are depending on the fact that we can replicate in the US what we did in Malta. That's when I realized the impact Malta had on the online gaming industry.
Incredible. Ivan, you call Malta the Silicon Valley of gaming. It is the home of gaming. What has helped us to sustain this momentum for 20 years?
I think primarily there isn't a silver bullet, but it's the sum of all the parts, more than that. And I think it's never being comfortable of where we are. So reinventing ourselves continuously, updating the regulatory regime, the licensing regime, etc. So basically not standing still and not taking for what we have for granted, essentially, because that's the biggest mistake you could do when you start feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's why in my earlier presentation I said we need to continue being relentless about you know, what we're doing and what our aims are. Then there is the very strong ecosystem, which is not easy to build. Today we talk about a robust ecosystem, but when Mario started, there was practically nothing, right? So then you get the consultants, you get the lawyers, you get the compliance specialists, etc. This is how it all starts to be built. You also get the bankers who start to understand what the industry is all about, how affiliates work. You know, all these, to us, may sound simple or everyday things, but you know, to people outside the industry, this is all new to them, right? And then also the political will in safeguarding and embracing the industry.
Yes.
That has been instrumental across different administrations in ensuring that the iGaming industry is well taken care of and well protected.
Yeah.
We see from us as Gaming Malta also, we have a relationship manager based at Identità, so the Malta residency agency. You know, so we help employers in making things move maybe faster or making it easier in you know, keeping with all the laws and with all the parameters, etc., but giving that concierge service. I remember during COVID, we're the only jurisdiction to actually give a fast track also to people working in the iGaming industry, right?
Yes.
Going to their offices and actually giving the vaccines there. You know, these kind of initiatives, which no other jurisdiction will do.
Yes.
No other actually does, you know. So it's a sum of all the parts. It's not a silver bullet, and ultimately it's going to be the talent. That's what we're going to help us with, and ensuring that we continue to get the right talent on the island.
Yes, and from my perspective, following regulators for my line of work, one thing that I find that is perhaps not unique but very strong in Malta is the open communication. Ivan often mentions this, how friendly the regulator is towards the operator, and I think this is instrumental in the success of the momentum that you've been able to build and sustain over the years. Ivan, as a CEO of Gaming Malta, how do you and the government continue to sustain this ecosystem? Maybe some of the key initiatives, you spoke about the Respect initiative. What else is keeping Malta at the forefront?
So basically, yes, there are always different initiatives being, you know, brewed, I would say. Now we're looking at the Gaming Malta Manifesto, which is basically a series of pledges towards the iGaming sector. We work very closely with different fora within the industry or lobby groups. The iGaming European Network, where we have a very open and transparent relationship with them and give them continuous briefs and of what we're doing.
Yes.
Things like HR forums, like HR Connect, for example, we're very much involved. And there we have the top chief people officers within the country in giving us feedback, and we giving them feedback also. Things like the student placement programs, which we have set up for the iGaming sector, where students can actually have mentorship and apprenticeship programs within the industry. So it's quite a plethora or a versatile, different initiatives, essentially. But it's relentless. It's continuous.
Yes.
And the minute we're comfortable with doing that, then we need to start doing something else again.
Precisely. As we wrap up, I'd love a final reflection from each of you. Mario, when you look at what Malta has achieved in gaming, from zero to becoming the Silicon Valley of gaming, what makes you most proud?
I think there are many things, but one thing that when we started all this, and I came from from this software industry. I actually used to work in Silicon Valley before I was at the MJ, and I knew how much the industry changes, And I used to say, everyone, if we manage to do this for the next 7 years, I am very proud. We've been doing it now for 25 years.
Yes.
And I still remember Eman coming to my office, very long hair, 17 and a half years old. And he said, I want to do this exhibition in Malta. Who was a DJ? And he said, I said, I believe in you. I give you the money. Start it. And look today,
Yes.
Look what we've done. Look what he's done. And that's it. That's how I said. Malta always went, no is not an option.
Yes.
Yes, we'll figure it out later, as we go along. That's Maltese spirit of doing things. And we always figure it out.
Yeah, precisely. And Ivan, looking ahead, what's the vision?
The vision is very clearly, it's the North Star will remain home of gaming excellence, right?
Yeah.
But we're looking at the broader church of gaming also. So iGaming, interactive entertainment, which includes video game development, esports, immersive tech, etc. And continue to consolidate the iGaming sector, but also grow the interactive entertainment center and make those two industries work together. Because ultimately, it's all transmedia. We're all in the entertainment industry, and they can feed and cross-pollinate into each other also. So the vision is very clear. That's what we're going to do, and that's what gives us that extra pace in our step in the morning.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you very much for the fascinating journey you've taken me and the audience through.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. Any final comments before we wrap up?
Well, I think, we were the foundation, but there is a bright future out there for Malta. I continue to believe in it, and I'm sure that those who are carrying that vision are doing a good work.
Mario, Ivan, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Please, let's give a round of applause to our guests.
Thank you so much, Shirley, and obviously to your guests.